Hi, Ashton. How's it going? Cool. So, you're probably diving into some homeschool situation. That's cool. I got another student who's doing the homeschool thing coming up, and I think it's great. So, it's different, and, different is good. So, that's cool. Let's jump into it. So, I wanted to talk about the Rufus-sized song real quick since I'm thinking of that. So, it is in 9/4. It does sound like it's in 4/4. And in a way, you could think of it as 2 bars of 4/4 and then 1 bar of 1/4. So there's like just an extra beat. It's sort of like 2 bars of 4/4 with an extra beat at the end. And you could write it out that way. You could think about it that way. Maybe in that band, that is how they thought about it. But you could just as easily think about it as being in 9. And either way works. There's really no one right way to do that. But, yeah, probably 9 is a little bit better for me because it's simpler, right? You see an entire measure of 9 instead of 3 separate measures that make up the same one phrase or the same idea. It's that guitar riff that starts the song. Dun, 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 dun. That last part, it's on an upbeat. It's the and of 8, and that kind of lasts a little bit longer than it typically would, which makes the whole thing in 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 1, and 2. It's hard to count and play at the same time, and I'm sort of butchering that right now, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 1, 2. It's that last part, 8, and I sort of have to subdivide the 8th notes at that part. The rest of it I can count as quarter notes. But what I'll do is I'll play the drum groove for you and see if I can count it at the same time. Ooh, tricky. And then maybe I'll slow it down. And then you can go back and listen to that song and see if you can actually hear the 9 going on. Basically on the song, there's like that guitar intro. It happens a couple times. And then there's a little break. And then the drums, like the whole band comes in and we got the groove going on. From that point on is where you would start counting the measures. Or you could count the measures on that guitar intro because it's the same thing. So let me play the groove. Another thing worth mentioning is that the hi-hat is playing upbeats or offbeats as part of the groove. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Get the idea? Also, I say set instead of 7. because 7 has 2 syllables. So especially when it's fast, like just get in the habit of saying set, S-E-T, instead of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, set 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, set 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, set 8. Cool. All right. And then you mentioned you didn't like that song so much. And so here's what I have to say about that. Music is art. And with all art, it's beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I know it's a cliche saying, but I agree with it. So you're more than welcome to not like that song. There's a whole bunch of things that I don't like. Everyone has different taste. But I would like it if you could tell me why you don't like it. As artists or musicians, we should be able to explain why we like or why we don't like something, because we actually know something about the subject we're having an opinion on. People that don't know anything about music or art, if they like or dislike something and they can't tell you why, it's like it's sort of okay because they don't know anything. But we know things, and we're passionate about the subject, so you should be able to say why you like or dislike something. So let me give you some examples of why you might not like something. Okay, so as far as a song goes, I don't like the lyrics, the words. They don't connect with me. I feel like they were just talking about things that I don't care about, or things that aren't important, or things that are sort of self-centered and nobody really cares about what they're talking about. So I don't like the lyrics because of that reason, and because I don't like the lyrics, I don't like the song. That's one example. I don't like the song because I don't like the sound of the singer's voice. The singer's voice, it's too sort of raspy and harsh sounding. It's not warm and soothing, and I tend to prefer a singer that has a more warm and soothing voice instead of a harsh, raspy voice. And these are all just examples, not my opinions. I'm just trying to give you things to work with. Another reason why you might not like a song, I don't like the drum beat. I felt the drum beat, it didn't groove really well. It didn't make me want to dance. And there were places where it was too complicated and it got in the way of the vocals. Another reason why you might not like a song. I don't like the song because it was too long. The first 3 minutes were great, and then it just sort of went on and on and on and got monotonous and annoying towards the end. So as a result of that, I don't really like listening to the song in its entirety. Okay, so I could go on all day about why you could like or dislike songs, and you should be able to as well. So for next week, tell me why you didn't like that Rufus-sized song, and I am excited to hear about it. Cool. All right. Moving on. Rudiments. Thanks for playing all of that. Thanks, Courtney, for shooting all that video. I know it takes a while, but it's really helpful for me to be able to see that once in a while. And you did a great job. I was really impressed with it. Finding all those papers here. It was really good. Obviously, there were a couple little mistakes in there. No big deal. The mistakes I noticed, they were always on transitions of moving from one rudiment to another, and typically when it's like some sort of weird note value transition, so moving from triplets to 16th notes, or moving from triplets back to 8th notes, that type of thing. All your phrase lengths, the 4-bar phrases, they were all perfect, I think, and all of the rudiments themselves sounded good, so Nice work. So let's keep going with that. And this week we'll add the tap flam, which is our next one here on page 3, right? After the press roll, we have tap flam. Now, more flams. And there's a lot more flams still to come. The tap flam is pretty simple. If you remember the flam tap from page 1, this is like a mirror image of that. It's the reverse of that. So hence the name tap flam. So you can figure it out. It's pretty easy. Just look at the sticking. Get your sticking right. It's just 8th note bass. We're at 70. Dot, 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 dot. Here's the tap flam. 1, 2, 3, 4. Groovy. I do find it a lot harder to play than the flam tap. Maybe it's just because I played the flam tap much more than the tap flam. It does feel totally different because we end up with flams on the offbeats. It's not as comfortable for me. But there you go. That's the tap flam. Show me that for next week. And cool. Moving on to 16th note accents. That all looked great. Your evenness between your right and your left is way better. I still hear it a little bit in there, but it's so much better than it was a week ago. So I think for this week, let's make it a goal to get these up to 90. Can we try 90? It's pretty fast, but by speeding them up, we can start to hear the melody, if you will, within the accents. When it's really slow, it's hard for the ear to latch on to the melody, if you will, the pattern, in essence. So speeding it up, it starts to sound more like music. That's my point. And then we can easily memorize it, which is the goal, I would say, for this week. See if you can memorize. You can, you don't have to, like, completely memorize. Like, you can read it for the first time or the first couple times, but then look away so that you're committing it to memory and you're committing your ears to hearing that melody. So, I'm not expecting you to remember what's on this page without looking at it first. But once you start playing it, get your eyes off the page and turn it into music, if you will. So, pretty standard. That all sounded great and just at 90. So the first one at 90 would be like this. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and... So when it's faster, it's just so much easier to hear it like it's music and not so much like an exercise on a page. The second one, 1, 2, 3, 4. I struggled with that one a little bit to be able to hear it and to memorize it. That one's a little harder for me to hear, so I had to keep glancing back a couple times because I was messing it up. But in the end, I got it. My ears locked onto it, and I was able to go with it. So, okay, groovy. So, do all of those at 90. It's not that fast, but it is a little fast. Just remember to stay relaxed in your hands, your fingers, your arms. Don't grip the sticks too hard. Stay loose, relaxed, and in your mind as well. Just stay chill. And that's how you're able to play things fast, basically. So, cool. That's good for that. Next week, we'll add the feet, and we'll start moving it around the drums. So it'll become more fun, and it'll start to sound pretty cool. Awesome. So that's rudiments, that's 16th note accents. Jumping into some more grooves. So this is exciting. The quarter note things with the left foot on the 2 and 4. All good to go. So we're moving forward with some new stuff. And I mentioned rim shot last week, and we are going to get into that today. But what we're going to do, I have 2 new pages for you. One is quarter note backbeat grooves part 2. So more quarter note in the right hand. But these are trickier. The bass drum gets complicated, and it becomes more of a coordination challenge. And then we have this one, 16th note backbeat grooves part 2. So many weeks ago, we did 16th note backbeat grooves part 1. I think that's back when we were still at the music center. These are a little different, because instead of playing all the 16th notes with our right hand, you know, we had grooves like this. Instead of doing them all with the right hand, we're going to do what we call hand-to-hand 16th notes, which means we bring the left hand over to the hi-hat and the right hand on the hi-hat. And, you know, you've probably come across these type of grooves before. I usually refer to them as hand-to-hand 16th note backbeat grooves or whatever. Most drummers, it's the hand-to-hand thing, or two-handed 16th notes on the hi-hat, that kind of thing. So the beauty is, by doing it this way, we're able to play a 16th note type groove much faster. But, you know, they can be played slowly with both hands. It feels very different than playing them all with one hand. It's just a totally different groove, even though you're accomplishing the same kind of goal by playing 16th notes on the hi-hat. For me, it's a totally different thing. And tempo or speed will determine what I'm going to do there most of the time. But like I said, you could play a two-handed or hand-to-hand thing very slowly in order to get a certain feel. The sound is a little different too. So anyways, why don't we look at that first? So for this week, let's just look at the first beat. Please ignore the second 2 beats, because that's not really important right now. What we want to do is get the first beat super comfortable, and then be able to play the first beat super comfortable with a rim shot in our right hand. So, as I mentioned last week, the rim shot is when you hit the rim with, like, you know, kind of the middle of the stick, the shaft of the stick. You hit the rim and you hit the drum at the same time. So rim and drum at the same time. Not just rim by itself, not just drum by itself, rim and drum. They both happen at the same time. So it's a little hard for me to demonstrate this on camera and for you to be able to see things. It's hard to see anyways, even if we were in person. But hopefully you understand the idea. By hitting the rim and the drum head at the same time, we get a crack out of our snare drum. Whereas if we just hit the drum without any rim in the middle or what have you, it lacks that crack. And it's that crack that makes us sound really good in many situations. A lot of times we want that crack in order to pop out of the mix. So it's a really important technique. It will be very hard. I'll warn you. It'll probably take a few weeks, more like a few months, before it feels really, really solid and you can hit a pretty consistent rim shot all the time. Initially, you're going to miss a lot. You're going to either hit just the rim or you're going to hit just the drum, but you're not going to hit both at the same time. And that's normal, and you just have to push through and keep working on it. And I'm not expecting to see super consistency right away. I'm expecting to see a lot of misses, and that's totally fine. The important thing is that we're working on it and we're getting better at it. So I'll take a picture of these pages for you so you have them. I put on there quarter note equals 90 as a tempo, and I feel that that's a nice tempo. It's not too slow, and it's certainly not fast, but it's in a musical place without being too slow, basically. If you feel it's too fast, always slow it down. We don't need to go any faster than this, I guess is my point. Cool. So here's 90, and again, we're looking at just the first beat on the 16th note backbeat grooves page. And if Lolo will let me play this beat, I can get on with it. All right, cool. Here's 90. So we're on the hi-hat with both hands, and every time we have a 2 and the 4 on the snare drum, our right hand comes over for that. Hopefully that's clear in the sticking that I have on the page, the R's and the L's. For now, I'll just hit the drum in the middle with no rim shot, just to show you the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool, and I'm trying to hit the drum right in the middle. Not all that was perfect, but it was pretty good. I'm trying to make all my 16th notes on the hi-hat the same volume, nice and even spacing. I'm playing all of those 16th notes with this part of the stick in both of my hands. That's pretty crucial, because if you're using different parts of the stick in different hands, it's not going to sound even and consistent. What else? The kick drum is lining up with my hands. I make my hands really, really consistent. And when I have that of 2 on the kick drum, that 16th note, that's lining up perfectly with my left hand, which happens at the same time, ideally. Cool. So it could take you a few days to get used to this groove. Don't worry about the rim shot initially. Make sure you get the groove nice and comfortable. And again, if 90's too fast, slow it down to like 80 or 70 or something like that. But I'm assuming you can get that pretty comfy within a few days. And then every time you hit the snare with your right hand, see if you can hit a rim shot. So I'll demonstrate that. I'll warn you, my right hand rim shot is not as good as my left hand rim shot, because I just don't do it that much. I pretty much only play like a backbeat rim shot in my right hand when I'm playing this groove. And this groove, it doesn't happen that much. Most of the time, I'm playing backbeats with my left hand. So my left hand's really good. My right hand's always like, I kind of got to find it a little bit. So there might be a little inconsistency in there right now. Especially I haven't played a groove like that in a while. But anyways, here it goes with the rim shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, not too bad actually. That was pretty good. Another little tip, hitting it hard, like playing the whole beat pretty hard, and especially that backbeat, like playing it hard, that's a good thing for right now, especially because it's easier to play a rim shot backbeat when you're hitting it pretty hard. Playing low volume rim shots that are consistent is very challenging, and of course we'll get to that, but for now just hit that thing and make your life a little bit easier. Cool, so that's the exercise there. I also, if you have time for this week, want to look at the first beat on this page, another new page, the quarter notes part 2, looking at the first one. And again, you're going to get this comfortable without a rim shot, and then you're going to try to do it with a rim shot. In this case, we have quarter notes. Let's stick them on a closed hi-hat for now, and your left hand is going to be playing the backbeats. And then we have more complicated kick drum patterns, little funky looking 16th notes and dotted notes and stuff. We talked about dotted notes a few weeks ago, and I think you get the idea. It's not all that important because you're going to be able to hear this and just play it because your ears are really good. That's what's important. So if you ever have a question about the way things are written out, ask me and I'll try to explain it. But having the ears for this stuff, that's like 99% of the game. So cool. Here's the first one at 90. Without a rim shot. Sometimes I have to remind myself to not play a rim shot because I'm so used to playing a rim shot. That's a common issue amongst us drummers that have been doing it for a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is vibrating off the tom and distracting me. Sorry, the last note there was incorrect. Let me try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. And I keep getting in the way of this cymbal here because it's a little bit too close. I'm just going to back that off just a tiny bit so that doesn't happen anymore. Notice because I'm bringing my right hand forward so my left stick can clear because I want to be hitting hard right now, especially for the rim shot that's going to happen right now. This beat is a little tricky now that I just played it. You may need to slow it down. You may need to count in order to figure out where those kick drum notes are. Let's see here. Where is my pen? Let me write in what you would count up here so you have it. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and we'll just break this down a little bit so you understand. Looking at the kick drum notes, so we have kick drum on 1, kick drum on E of 1. Over here we have kick drum on the and, kick drum on the of 2. And then over here, this last kick drum happens right after the snare drum on the E of 4. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 1 and whew, sorry, butchering that. Let me try it again. It's really slow with quarter notes on the right hand. 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 4 and 1 E and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 4 and whew, it's a mouthful. Cool. So you may have to do that very slowly and count just to make sure you got all that in the right place. If not, no big deal. You could go straight to 90. So let me demonstrate this with the rim shot in the left hand. Got 1, 2, 3, without a rim shot, so you can hear the difference. 1, 2, 3, 4. With the rim shot. Different, right? Cool. So do the best you can. If that's too much material for 1 week, it's totally cool. Show me what you can. Don't move forward with things until they feel comfortable. So I'd rather see things that are groovy and comfortable instead of a whole bunch of things that don't sound good. So, cool. I think that's it for today. Let me just check this here, my notes. Yeah, we're good. Cool. Talk to you in a week. Thank you. See you later.